For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome in hour 2. Let's get into some mini camp talk. I almost said training camp, man. I'm so excited about training camp.
Heard it from a fan right here.
Look at you trying to do your best Tim impersonation. So this was obviously just a quick clip here of Matt LaFleur and Goody out there on the practice field today. I want to say it's kind of cool that in the past they've used this day 3 of mandatory minicamp to kind of do a team activity. And Matt LaFleur chose, no, we're going to practice this year. And I heard people in the media commenting and making little remarks. So it wasn't really a practice. This was the softest practice they had so far. They didn't really do anything. I think it's more about the message, Emilio, that Matt LaFleur setting a tone like, hey, this is a different year, guys, right? Like there's urgency. Goody talked about urgency in the offseason. I know many people would disagree with his actual actions, but I still don't understand that, to be honest with you. I mean, my God, those same fans that are complaining that Goody isn't serious about winning a Super Bowl were the same ones complaining that we spent so much money in free agency on those 2 players, right? And Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks. So it's like you disagree with the people they signed, but don't sit here and BS me and pretend like they didn't do anything. They went out and spent some money they got 2 starters in free agency. That's what they did. Possibly 3 if Mecole Hardman really rises to the occasion. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, though, with this message that Matt sent today, Emilio, it's like, hey, look, urgency. Forget the team activity. We're not going to go paintballing. We're not going to go bowling. We're gonna practice. We're going to set this thing off right. You guys go into break on the right note and maybe just get a little bit more information on where players may or may not fit into this starting lineup.
Right. I think that's a great point. My only pushback would be I was listening to Move the Sticks with DJ and Buck, and they had John Gordon on, and he was talking, I guess he's written a lot of books about, being a coach and stuff like that and how to lead, things like that. His one point that I guess stuck with me now that you brought this up was just that if you're going to have, like, you can get more out of one day of camaraderie than you can out of one day of practice. So building that camaraderie with the team, I think that we're in a different spot, though, here in Green Bay, like Wyatt was saying in his interview, obviously there's not a lot to do in Green Bay, but that brotherhood, like Kenny's inviting us over to our house. We're hanging out with each other a lot outside of just us, practice in the stadium and stuff. So that's, you get a college feel. Like after practice, we're going back to your house, we're going to go play Fortnite, whatever. That's the kind of feeling that you get. So maybe they don't need as much, like you were saying, paintball, stuff like that. Even though I would run a couple paintball games, that would be a good time.
Bro, that's nothing better than paintball.
But no, I get it because, hey, you're walking that fine line of, all right, we do have a lot of camaraderie on this team, which I love, but we still need to focus. And what's our goal? Wyatt said it. Our Super Bowl's our goal. I'm sure Isaiah Simmons singing the same thing. Everyone that's kind of talking that's what we're leading to. That's what we're chasing. That's why we're putting in this work right now.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that there, Jacob? Anything at all?
No, that sums it up about
Can
as well.
I just say they have some crispy white shoes? I mean, those things are sparkling, dude.
Who was that with those?
Matt and Goody, both of them. I mean, those things were just blinding. And they wear the black pants too, so it's just like, can we make the shoes pop anymore? Let's get them some green ones or some yellow ones.
I'm a sucker for the white shoes, man. I'm just telling you right now. Like I'm the white Air Force One guy. I've got like 6 pairs of Air Force Ones, and they're all the same. So, whitest sneaker award.
Remember the Dundays?
Yeah, who did you give that to? Phyllis, right?
Pam. No, Pam and her kids.
Sorry, yeah, that's
right.
Idiot.
That was the extra drink episode too.
Yeah,
extra drink.
Yeah.
So good news today. Nate Hobbs is back at practice. Listen, I don't think anybody was overly concerned. I do know that Wildy, while live on Wildy and Tausch earlier today, cut himself off mid-sentence as he was reporting from the sideline and said Nate Hobbs with a great play on the sideline there. So evidently a deep ball, some kind of ball, mid-range ball on the sideline, made a play on the ball. I've heard nothing but positive things about him other than missing yesterday, and I don't know if it was a personal matter or what it may or may not have been, but this was Wes Hokowitz tweeted this out and put Nate Hobbs back at practice. Jaden Reed, Kamal Haddon, and Omar Brown are new non-participants so far. So you got Quay Walker, Aaron Banks, Rasheed Walker, Elton Jenkins, John Williams, Christian Watson, Kalen King, Micah Robinson, somebody named Anderson, Colin Oliver, Zane Anderson, right?
There we go.
Yeah. Colin Oliver and Hicks also out. Okay, so yeah, pretty extensive list. I want to ask you guys about Quay real quick, and we're going to get back to Nate Hobbs. I've seen some people asking, "Is Quay hurt? Is Quay hurt? Is that why he's missing, or is it contractual?" Has anybody heard anything on that? Is Quay, because he hurt his ankle at the end of the year. I assumed he'd be good by now, but we got kind of this big mystery, and I haven't heard anybody ask. None of the beat reporters, to the best of my knowledge, have asked, "Hey, is Quay hurt and he's just hanging out with or is he hurt? Is why he's with the rehab group, or is he hanging out with the rehab group the same reason Elton Jenkins is, because it's like contractual?" Because remember, they chose to not pick up Quay's fifth-year option, right, when they have Devontae Wyatt. And I understand why they didn't pick up Quay. So I think we would all agree with that decision. So Holmes in the chat said Quay is hurt according to Andy Herman. Okay, so I'm assuming that they told everybody he was hurt.
What I would say was
not just the fact that he was over with the rehab group, because just because you're with the rehab group doesn't mean you're hurt. Like I said, that's where Elton's been hanging out the most.
Right. I think Ron was kind of leading to it right here. Matt's answer about Quay being ready for camp was kind of non-committal. So like when it was more of out of the, I think it was Willie that was asking, but out of those guys that were, not practicing, hurt, injured, whatever it was, of what is their status leading into, coming into training camp? Where do you think they're going to be at? Is it going to be something that is going to affect them for training camp? And Matt was, kind of along the lines of like, yeah, I'm not sure about that right now. We'll see what happens, sort of thing.
Got it. To me, I feel like probably 90-95% it's Quay's banged up, but there's still a part of me that's like, I could see them not wanting to talk about, hey, we're trying to get a contract done. Because I do think they want to re-sign him for the right price, And the crazy thing about that is going off what some stack backers have gotten that are kind of that hybrid, just physical freaks. I think we would all agree Quay has underperformed. He hasn't performed like a first-round pick, right? If he was a third-round pick, we'd all love him. We're like, man, this guy was a great, great draft pick. But the reality is he was a first-round pick. But if you look across the league at some of those extra dynamic linebackers, some that graded out pitifully, according to PFF, and I can't think of his name now. There was one, I think he was in Tampa for a bit. It may have been somewhere else. He got paid big bucks, and I was like, boy, I don't think he deserves that kind of contract. But when you're a physical freak, teams are willing to overpay for that. So I'd say Quay's camp's looking at it like, hey, we should get a significant payday here. And the Packers are kind of looking at it the way we are, like, I mean, come on, let's not sit there and pretend like you're Fred Warner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything you guys want to add to that there? If not, we'll move on. I want to say I had another video of Nate Hobbs indoors doing a little bit of workout just to kind of show. Yeah, let's just jump right into that here. So this was him indoors just to kind of get an idea of as he was back at practice, just throwing the old medicine ball around. I love him wearing 21, by the way. I love that. So Nate Hobbs, I think, is ready to go. There's not going to be any kind of limitation at all going into training camp. Everything I've heard, too, like you heard Evan Williams talking about Nate Hobbs the other day. It was like, this dude, he's a dog. Like, it sounds like he's going to bring that energy to the room, Jacob. He's going to be one of those guys that obviously got to do it on the field, but having lost Jair Alexander, if we hadn't signed Nate Hobbs, I would be a lot more like the majority of I don't want to say the majority of the fan base, that portion of the fan base that's concerned that we lost Jair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously it's just a wait and see type period, but the kind of money that they gave him, it's nice to see him. I don't think that they maybe consciously or verbally said it out loud to him, but I think the whole Jair situation, as he's being brought into the organization, say, hey man, we're gonna let arguably one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL go. We're gonna release him because he cannot stay healthy. And very quickly, Mr. Nate Hobbs is like, all right, I can go. All right, I want to make this team again. I always scratch my head. There's been multiple players going into either OTAs, practice camps, mini camps, preseason, for whatever reason, don't feel like they need to be there practicing with their guys or expect that they even need to like compete to earn a spot on the 53. I love what I'm seeing out of Hobbs. That if I can go, we just touched on it earlier. I mean, is he injured or is he hurt? All right, if you're just hurt, let's go. Suck it up. People get hurt every day. You know how many times I've fallen off the pole? God.
That's true. bust a lip.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. That broadcast story really paid off. All right. This is I thought this was really cool. ML Football had tagged me in this earlier today. And I just put high character guys, that's the Packers way. As he tweeted this out, it says wholesome. Packers standout cornerback Nate Hobbs received a letter from his high school chemistry teacher. The teacher wrote, quote, "See that hard work in chemistry paid off. Ha ha." Hobbs wrote back, "I think I might be most proud of this. I used to be a knucklehead. Now look."
Okay.
Did I read that right or no?
Nah, the edit button would have been in handy there, Mr. Hobbs. But
well, that's the thing. This is ML Football's tweet, so maybe he's.
Oh yeah, ML Football. Come on.
Yeah. So here's the letter. I'm going to read the letter. It's not very long, but I think this is cool. So again, this is from his high school, right? High school chemistry teacher. Okay, Mr. Hobbs, wake up and pay attention is what it says at the top. Does that sound familiar? Think back to Mel high school chemistry class. Seriously, this is Mr. G, your old chemistry teacher from Mel. If you remember seeing Packers posters on the wall, I was and still am a very big Packer fan. I was born in Green Bay. I learned while watching the draft that the Packers had signed you in the offseason. That is awesome. Now you're playing for the best team in all of sports. I had followed your career at the Raiders and watched and rooted for you every time the team was on, except when you played the Packers. Now, of course, I hope that you can help us get to the Super Bowl. I watched the interview you gave when you got to Green Bay. It was really good. I especially liked it when you gave thanks to God for blessing you with talent, family, and a good contract. My wife and I always say to each other, God is great every day, and every day God is great. I'm going to try and get to a game in Green Bay this year and to congratulate you on being a Packer. I'm also going to see you when you play in Denver. I have now retired from Mel High School and now live in Colorado Springs, but still a lifelong Packer fan. Once again, I just want to say congratulations on still being in the NFL and being a Packer. See that hard work and chemistry paid off. May God bless you and keep you, Mr. G. And that's so. I guess it was Hobbs put. I think I might. That's right. I think I might be most proud of this. I used to be a knucklehead. Now look. So I thought that was cool, man. That you leave that kind of impression on somebody. And again, just another player on the Packers roster. Am I the only one that sees this common theme with the Green Bay Packers roster? How many of them mention God and mention their faith?
Isaiah Simmons said it in his presser today. He was, like just being blessed by God and putting him first. All that stuff is, yeah. I
love it. And again, when Goody got the job, what did he say? The first thing I want to do is thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? He mentioned it. I think Matt LaFleur said something about it at the time that when he got the job, of course, Matt LaFleur was a mess. He was up there crying. It pissed Jacob off. He's like, "This is our head coach. He's crying. What's he doing?" So I don't know, Jacob. This seems like a Packer to me, man.
Yeah, I've heard it recently from Gary, from X, from Josh Jacobs, and they're not like in your face with it, you know what I mean? Right. Trying to beat you over the head with it, but it's always appropriate. It's always just kind of a little bit, throw that in there just to let you know where they stand, where we stand. I personally love it. I think that as you can, I've always said I wish there was a metric that could judge a guy's character, much like an RAS score, because I swear. Not taking the Lord in vain, but I swear to the Lord that they would probably have most of that roster on a 9 or 10 of that, whatever you want to call it, the good guy score, community guy score, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, you can tell it's the type of guys they look for.
Right.
Go ahead.
Now, Amelia would be a 1 or a 2 on that scale, but
yeah. Isaiah Simmons, he was saying he goes, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. He goes on, and when the Giants put me in that position. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, I'm going to make that decision hard for any coach moving forward. So I, love that attitude, love that mentality.
Yep. Yeah. And since you brung him up, I don't know, he may mention it here. I doubt it. It's a short clip from Matt Schneidman. Matt Schneidman tweeted out, Isaiah Simmons speaks with Green Bay media for the first time. Here he discussed why Jeff Hafley is a good fit for him. Simmons had said his time with the Giants lit a fire under him. Let's see what Isaiah Simmons had to say. And, if you guys can't hear it on the podcast, well, you'll hear it on the podcast. If you guys can't hear it here live, I apologize. Try to crank it up here if it's hard to hear. It's just about 20 seconds long.
And I just feel like Habs' defense just fits me better just with how my skill type was, how I came, like more so like how I kind of played in college. He was in college recently, so that could be a part of it. But I just like his vision, his creativity. I feel like I need to be with a guy who's creative. So kudos to him for that.
So you're getting a guy that's motivated, and like you said, Emilio, someone who kind of sounds like he's pretty well grounded there as well. Isaiah Simmons is very similar to what we said about Quay Walker. Isaiah Simmons was the 8th overall pick, right? If he hadn't been the 8th overall pick, if he'd been drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, people would be talking about how, wow, this guy has been a really good NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been solid. But when you get taken in the top 10, boy, the expectations are through the roof. And another guy that you could see with this signing, yeah, they want him to fit into that third sackbacker role. Whether he'll beat out Tyron Hopper or not, time will tell. Or Isaiah McDuffie as well. But he's going to be a hell of a special teams player as well,
Right. Yeah, and to his toughest battles, to his strongest soldiers comment, I mean, that's it. He was picked number 8 overall. He's bounced between teams. He's been asked to do this, and that. He's been asked to cover. He was saying that it was either in New York or in Arizona. He was basically playing corner. Like, they had him repping against wide receivers, not tight ends and running backs, right? So the dude has been, kind of just stretched thin. It's like you just, took him from every angle and just kind of pulling him apart. Let's kind of put him back together, put him in one spot and give him a shot. He was laughing, he's excited that he's just covering tight end and backs now and just giving him a shot to actually play, and be a linebacker again.
And this is another guy, too. I didn't even think about this, but, he has played some safety. So if you get into a pinch, and he is on your 53-man roster, if you get into a pinch where for some reason the safety room is banged up or the cornerback room let's say, God forbid this happen. I hope this doesn't happen. I don't even want to say it, but these are the type of things that do happen in season sometimes. What if Nate Hobbs goes down with an injury for a couple of weeks and Javon Bullard has to plug in at safety, and then Evan Williams goes down, right, at safety, and now you got Zane Anderson or Oladapo in there. Right. If one of those guys breaks a shoestring or something and they have to come out of the game, Isaiah Simmons can fill into that role a little bit, right? He's versatile enough that you could pop him back there. And so now you got a guy who can probably rush the quarterback a little bit with his athletic ability. He can play stack backer. He can play safety in a pinch, and he might very well be your special teams ace. So,
yeah, no, I think it's a great point because having that ability, best ability is availability, and if you're available and a multi-talented, player, and it's not like we're asking him to do those reps. He's previously been, dragged across and into having to do those reps. So when we ask on him, it's not, he's hooking us up, right? It's not like he's, mad about doing it. He's like, no, I want to do it to help the team. Put me out there as safety coach. Not, man, I'm dreading going out there as safety because I've, been playing cornerback. I just want to go in and play backer,
Yeah. Holmes MD won at some point. Little special request here. He said, I could find it.
Oh. You think God never farted?
That's all right. Appreciate you, Emilio. See, I gotta have more faith in you, man.
Dude, I'm not Tim, but I'm trying to be. I'm like 60% of Tim.
No, none of us are Tim. Tim is the glue that holds this thing.
He really is.
Yeah. So Rob Demovsky put this tweet out earlier today. One last look at Jordan Love in minicamp. Next time you'll see him on the field is when training camp opens on July 23rd. Can we just talk about this dot right here on this out route? And that's Romeo Doubs. I mean, look at the chemistry, the timing that Romeo Doubs and him have. Actually, it already played through, so he's looping it, isn't he? That's what he's doing. Let's go back to the first one. Watch this dot. It's going to be an out route, right? Watch Rome. Little jab step in, work himself out. Look at that throw. Can't throw it anymore. Right on the money. Let's see the second throw here. I think this is out of the backfield. Is that Marshawn Lloyd that catches this pass?
Looks like it.
No, that's Emmanuel Wilson.
No, it's Emmanuel. I like that though. It looked kind of like it looked like a swing route, and then they really sharpened it off, kind of turned that into a Texas right there. Mm-hmm. He's like swinging out wide, and then nope, I'm cutting right back. That's something I would be doing, online when I'm trying to just get around the user.
Yeah, and we call that a cut route. Some call it a cut. No, it's not quite a stab. No, a V. On my list, on my board here, you can see the running back routes in the bottom right.
Okay.
It's actually called a V is what they call it.
We need to get that thing scanned and put it on here so we can go through that.
I got to. And that's the other thing I'm going to do this year too, guys. I'm making a lot of promises that I probably
we need to make this list.
I'm trying to trying to make sure we can do as much for the Patreon group as we can. We appreciate y'all being a part of that. What I'd like to do in season, when we have a big play, all right, like let's say week 1, Jordan Love has a 65-yard touchdown pass to Jaden Reed. I'd like to take that play, break it down, and just draw the play art out and then throw it on Patreon. And we'll just say week 1 against so-and-so, right? And then week 2, big play happens. Take that play, break it down, and add it to that same post. So we got this running list throughout the season of, hey, here's some of the top plays of the season, and here was the actual play call. I think it's like a little mini playbook. You know what I mean? So,
right. A top play mini playbook. That's perfect.
Absolutely. So, again, Jordan Love, I feel like Jordan Love has had as good of an offseason as you can have based off what Matt LaFleur said. Like he seems like he's been really crisp. We've seen the Mecole Hardman.
Is that Savion with the little hitch route right there?
Yeah, look at Savion in the red jersey. And watch the hands.
Plant. I love that. Ooh, who fell back there?
I'm eager to see how Savion responds to NFL coaching. Because, again, he's been at TCU. He's been kind of their gadget guy, wildcat quarterback, running back. When he played receiver, I felt like he'd done his contested catch is unbelievable. If you work him underneath and get him used to stuff like this, and refine his hands are going to be the biggest thing, right? Like his hands, I want to say his drop rate was 18% or something like that. It was pretty significant. So.
Yeah. I mean, hey, stuck his foot in the ground there. Hicks looks like he slipped a little bit on the pivot. So I'll take it, man. Wearing the red jersey, just getting some reps in there. Like we said, OTAs is no pads, nothing like that. Let's just get through it. Get the reps, learn what we want you to do. And then, as long as he's applying what the coaches were teaching him earlier on 2-3 weeks ago, whatever, as long as he's actually able to apply that into his reps, that's really all that matters. And Jay Love, right, he's getting married this summer. So he's got a big summer coming up.
He does, man. He does. I'm just so – listen, Jordan Love can be a lot better. Don't get me wrong. And we've seen his best football is the second half of 2023. We've seen what he can be, what he can do. He can be that tractor, right? That truck that you attach the trailer to. You know what I'm talking about, Emilio. Daniel Jeremiah talks about it all the time. Are you a truck or are you a trailer? Or does he say tractor? Again,
no, he's you truck or a trailer.
Yeah. And what he means by that is if you're a truck, you're a player that the team hitches themselves to you and you make this thing go. If you're a trailer, it's you're a part of it, right? You may not be, think of some of the quarterbacks that have had success in the past that haven't been just dominant MVP type candidate players. We've seen Jordan Love be the truck in the second half. 9 straight weeks in 2023, Jordan Love was the truck. What do you have? 18 touchdowns, 1 interception, I think it was. Just insane numbers, right? And, of course, last year he's banged up. I don't need him to be a truck right now. I need him to be Brett Favre, like Brett Favre, the young Brett Favre 3 years in, where it's like, oh, okay, we got something here, right? Like make those plays, protect the football. That's where Brett screwed up a lot once he got past the 3 MVP seasons, obviously. But I just need the dude to go out there and protect the football, make the plays that are on the field, get to your check down on time. I think that's the one thing he needs to improve on the most is get to the check down on time. Don't wait too long. And I'll be real. Matt LaFleur took a lot of shots for Jordan Love last year where fans are going, Matt's he's always trying to bomb it deep on third down. We showed it time and time again where Jordan has a check down on third down and he's just choosing to bomb it, Right. So, and again, when he hits them, we love it. When he misses them, we're on Chalk Talk going, God, you got to take the check down, right?
Yeah, wide open underneath, and then you're looking at it, okay, his eyes were downfield, he's looking that up. So it's kind of, tough in between. Like you said, you're not asking Jordan to be a truck. Ron Sanville said Jordan's a truck, but clutch was just slipping a little bit last year. That's fair.
Perfect.
That's fair. I was thinking maybe he's the hitch, maybe he's the gooseneck holding the truck and trailer together. So he's that melt, but who's gonna be the truck, right? And I think that Matt LaFleur is just asking him to be a consistent truck if possible. So to Ron's point, we just need to get that clutch figured out. Maybe a little swap out, or just hit it with a little bit of grease or something. We'll get moving.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. When you talk about a gooseneck and something that's kind of playing a pivotal role in a task in a season,
he's holding a lot of weight back. I mean that Clay, that hitch has got a lot of pressure on him, man.
if that thing goes.
That trailer's loaded. We're in for a world of hurt.
If you want to know someone who's got experience, Bub, I've been going down the interstate and sparks flying off a trailer. You know what I mean? That has happened to Timer 12, the old clay dog here, I promise you. But when you talk about someone who could play a pivotal role, think back to 2010. Who was the running back the year they won the Super Bowl in 2010? Do you remember, Emilio?
My boy.
James Starks, right?
Master James Starks.
If you had said going into that year with Ryan Grant on the roster, if you just said James Starks is going to be the running back that helps this thing go, and you're going to go win a championship, we would have looked at you like you had three heads, right? Well, I'm wondering if maybe Marshawn Lloyd can be that dude this year, right? I don't know about you guys, but any of this camp footage that we've seen, anytime they show him in a drill, we were talking about Bo Melton's feet in that drill earlier.
Yep.
Marshawn Lloyd's footwork is like, whoa. And again, this is the guy that Matt LaFleur referred to as that little rocket in the backfield, right? Like, he was really excited about Marshawn Lloyd. I love Emmanuel Wilson. The fact that Marshawn Lloyd and Emmanuel Wilson are going to be battling for that backup spot gets me absolutely fired up. He met with the media earlier today. Matt Schneidman put this 28-second clip out. Again, I apologize for the volume, but he said, Matt Schneidman said, Packers 2024 third-round pick Marshawn Lloyd played only one game last season due to multiple injuries. Now the running back says he's been 100% for some time now. Let's see what he had to say.
Where are you physically right now?
So where am I physically?
Yeah, right now.
I'm doing good, really good. Can run as fast as I can jump as high as I want, can catch the ball. I'm doing pretty good.
How long have you been kind of 100%? Obviously,
100%. It's been some time now. I've been doing things before I was doing team. I was doing things on the side, just taking things slower. But it's been good being able to be back fully in the practice.
Where are you?
Amelia, this is a dude
right now?
that Daniel Jeremiah had as his top running back in the draft last year.
I forget about that, Clay. I really do.
And I did not have him there, right? This was my list of running backs last year, okay? I had Trey Benson. I think this is the right one. Let me make sure. Yeah. I had Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks,
Right.
Audric Estime, Bucky Irvin, Sweet Baby Ray Davis, and then Marshawn Lloyd. So I had Lloyd as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh best running back in the draft. And again, Daniel Jeremiah, DJ was very vocal about that. This is my best running back in the draft. It'd been real easy to go, let's just change that real quick, but we didn't. We stayed true to our board. When you have a former NFL scout say this is the best running back in the draft, and we haven't even got a chance to see him yet, that's really exciting. Dude,
and the fact that it's that and more of like a hidden piece on our offense. It's something that's kind of been sitting in the wayside. It's nothing's on tape. The team can't be prepping for it. It's something that we can kind of sprinkle in throughout the year as he's getting better. Maybe he gets a lot. Maybe he gets the whole kit and caboodle. Maybe Matt's got him out there 25 plays from week one. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that having the ability to sprinkle in some sort of speed and, deception, I think that's huge. We're going to have that speed in the wide receiver room. We're going to have speed in the running back room. Is Tuck and Musgrave back? We're going to get a little bit more speed in the tight end room. This team is becoming faster by the minute. Christian comes back. We're going to have to figure out what to do with the extra wide receiver who gets moved around, but we're going to have so much speed on this team that Matt's got to be just, licking his lips, right?
Mm-hmm. Robert in the chat, Robert Bertana says this running back group is solid. I completely agree. I mean, It really does look like that, right? And Ed Madden in the chat says we do seem to have a lot of good depth at a lot of positions. I love that he said we'll find out, because right now we feel like that, right? Yep. But like I think it was it Ron Wolf that used to say, you're just a couple sprained ankles away from going from being really deep in a room to being really, really shallow. Right.
And that's where we're saying, hey, we have three corners. Hey, we have, 4 linebackers or 5 linebackers. We have a couple of D linemen. We have 10 offensive, and it's like, yeah, we do. One injury, one setback, one this, one that. That's where the decisions will get made. Some of them will be made before training camp's over, but then some of them we need to make sure we have ready to go for the season, because you never know what's going to happen in season either.
Yep. And I'll tell you a position you don't have to be deep at. You just need one guy, and that's the kicker position, obviously. Rob Demovsky said if Brandon McManus made a 58-yard field goal. Matt LaFleur would end the last mini camp practice early, and he nailed it. LaFleur then brought outgoing team president Mark Murphy in to break down the huddle. We'll talk about that comment here in a second, but here's a video. I can't play the sound because there's music with it, but this was a short clip that the Packers tweeted out earlier today of McManus hitting that. So imagine all the teammates, right? They're all gathered around. Like, he hits this, we go home early. We're done, right? Check this kick out. Watch everybody's reaction. This is awesome, man. Look at everybody watching. Well, look at Christian. Christian looks good, boys. I'm telling you, he's in a good spot.
Yes.
Look at
That right there, camaraderie.
Yes.
With the whole team, it's one of those where you're putting pressure on McManus by having the entire team 3 feet away from him. You're never going to have that many people lined up right next to him in a kick. You know, he's going to be solo. Have everybody there, have that excitement. Dude, the pressure's on. It's kind of like when, you know, you're running those pyramid drills, you're running the sprints, whatever it was. Dude jumps off sides on a you know, we're going on 2. He still jumps off, and you got to reset. That's the opposite here. McManus banging that 58-yarder and ending practice.
58-yard. I mean, that's not a chip. That's nothing near a chip shot, right?
Nope.
How cool is it?
Calm, cool, collected.
That we ain't got to worry about kicker. And again, I'm not expecting him to kick in the 90 percentile again at field goal percentage, right? I'm expecting it to drop into the 80s. But thank God the year of the 60% seemed to be over, right? Like,
yep.
that's beyond us here. And I wanted to point this out because, Emilio, if I were to say McManus, where do you think McManus's performance last year ranks in terms of, like, if you were to take everybody in the history of the Packers and their field goal percentage at kicker, right? And then you take McManus's field goal percentage from last year, where do you think it would rank? You think it'd be top 3, top 5, top 10 in the history of the Packers? Have been kicking field goals for a long time.
Yeah, that's tough.
Because I don't think people talk enough about how good of a season he actually had. But where do you think it would rank? Top 3?
I'd have to say he's top 10. I would give him. Let's say we'll give him top 5. Give him the 5th position. You got Ryan Longwell. You got Mason Crosby, and that's about all the kickers that I've been around for.
Right. Right. So here is the all-time field goal percentage for the Green Bay Packer kickers. Okay, you ready for this? Now, you might be kind of surprised here. This is career-wise, okay? And keep in mind, McManus has only been here 1 year. 95.2% field goal percentage. The next closest one is Anders Carlson at 81.8%. And then you've got Ryan Longwell, 81.6%, Mason Crosby, 81.4%.
Wow.
And then you've got Chris Jackie coming in there. He obviously played in the 90s, 77.2%. And then, of course, Braden. So this is by season, isn't it? So let's see here. And so Anders Carlson, that was in 2023, his field goal percentage. Now, again, the Anders Carlson thing was the missed extra points, if you'll remember that. Right?
Yep.
87.2% on the extra point percentage.
And McManus was 100%.
100%. If you were to take this, right, this is all-time best seasons by a kicker. And I've sorted it by field goal percentage. McManus had the best year of any field goal kicker in the history of the Green Bay Packers. Now, keep in mind, it was how many attempts? It was only 21 attempts. He made 20 of 21, right? And when you go to like Ryan Longwell, that's showing his career field goal percentage there. So it is kind of weird how this is structured. So it's saying from and to. So this is career, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's career. I mean, look,
you've got – yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's career.
You got John Anderson, the left outside linebacker, hitting a 30 to 39 yarder and somewhere in between the 78 and 89 season. And he went 2 for 1 on extra points. I love that.
Some of these names. Hey, look, how about Jerry Kramer down here? 53.7% kicking field goals. Let's go, dude. But again, man, I don't think some fans understand just how good of a season McManus had. And again, I do not expect him to kick 95% this year. I do not see that happening. But if he's hovering around 90, look out, boys.
And 100% on extra points, you're happy, right?
No. And again, I think people were kind of probably surprised that Braden Narvis, or Anders Carlson, I should say, has the second highest field goal percentage in the history of the Green Bay Packers, right? Again, though, when you look at the field goals attempted and made or what have you, what is the total there? Does it give you the actual total? It's got it broken down.
Yeah, field goals attempted 33, made 27. So he missed 6 of them, and none of the misses were It looks like he started missing in the 40s, right? 40 to 49, he missed 4 of them. 50 plus, he missed 2 of those. So
I would not have thought that he had a higher field goal percentage than Ryan Longwell.
right. No,
That's
me neither. Or Mason Crosby, right? I mean, it's not like they're that far off, right? He's got 0.2 of a point that's keeping him above them. But I mean, you scroll down there, look at Paul Hornung.
I love
That poor
it.
guy was 47.1%. They had him kicking everything.
Yeah. How about Don Hudson, a steady 41%?
I mean, everyone's got the extra points down, though. You know.
Did Curly ever kick? I would imagine Curly Lambeau kicked at some point, but maybe it was before we could keep up. I don't know. That's just so cool to go back in time and look at that stuff. So again, man, when it comes to McManus, I'm just telling you, dude. Like we need to thank the good Lord above that we got McManus as our kicker,
Right.
because it was just the other day we were all upset about Anders Carlson being the kicker, and he's still the second highest field goal percentage in the history. Now, again, the game's changed. We got that. I understand it. The field goal percentages are much higher today than they were back then. But pretty wild, though. McManus, I'm just glad he's here for the next few years for sure.
Right. And just hats off. Do you still have that up?
I do not. I just
Okay. Hats off to Mason Crosby. 700 field goals attempted and 1,300 kickoffs. That man was just swinging his leg for this team. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a great point, man. All right, we're going to wrap it up with a little Mark Murphy talk. We'll just kind of bring it home here.
Nice.
Really, what is this? H.E. Soder. Is it Jan Steenrud and sweet leather jacket? What is this? He's saying he had a sweet leather jacket?
Ooh.
Or is he saying that kind of sounds like a band, doesn't it?
I got a duster. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you and that duster. So
65%. 65%. That's what
they let Mark Murphy break it down here at the end of practice. I love the way he broke it down too, guys. How cool would it be? I'll let the video play and then we'll talk about it. All right. Here's Mark Murphy breaking down the final this is his final mandatory mini camp, right? As he is now turning the reins over at the shareholders meeting here in July. He's going to be turning everything over to Ed Policy. Here was what Mark Murphy had to say breaking it down.
Everybody knows that Mark Murphy, after 17 years, is retiring. He's the only man that's won a Super Bowl as a player and as a CEO, right?
believed to be.
Well, I believe it, Mark. But I'll tell you what, he changed my life. He's changed a lot of people's lives for the better around here. He's a great leader, but an even better man. And he is the epitome of what it means to be a Green Bay Packer. So I thought it was appropriate. He'll be the last one to address our team as the president.
No, thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it. I'll be very brief, but I tell you, I've been around the NFL a long time, as a player, and certainly 18 years here.
Led the league in interceptions one year, by the way, and won a Super Bowl, I believe. I think he, whether it was a Super Bowl or not, they got the championship that strike shortened season.
Right.
I really sense something special with this team, and hopefully you see the same thing. And the last thing I'd say, you have to believe it to achieve it. 1, 2, 3. Super Bowl!
That's all.
Love that they broke it down that way. Super Bowl, right? And then, of course, Matt Schneidman put this tweet out, and I thought this was just – Matt Schneidman is one of my favorite reporters that covers the team, man. He brings a sense of humor. He's always hitting on the important stuff. Look at this shot right here of Mark Murphy, right? It says, Mark Murphy walking through the Lambeau Tunnel. The helmet he's holding is filled with signatures from the team.
Wow.
His 17-year tenure as Packers president ends next month when he reaches his mandatory retirement age of 70. Murphy broke down the huddle with the 1-2-3 Super Bowl after the last practice before summer break today. Look at that shot right there. How cool is that, man?
Dude.
I love it.
And he's probably choked up a little bit there, man. I mean, for the team, camaraderie comes back to camaraderie again, man. You have Mark Murphy who's down there talking to the team, being active, seeing everybody. Got Goody down there on the field, and everybody wants to break it down and give it out to the president that brought the draft here. Robert Bertrand, thanks for the draft, Murphy.
Yes,
did that, brought so much to this title town, all that to this team, and all he wants is the best for everybody there, right? It's not like he's asking for extra recognition or, to put my name on the stadium, anything like that, man. He just loved his job and loved, being around people and doing what he did.
Yeah. And again, Robert hit the nail on the head. If it wasn't for Mark Murphy, we would never have had a job. I remember when they started talking about trying to get a draft in Green Bay, how many of the people covering the team were like, it'll never happen. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. And Mark Murphy battled and battled and battled and got it done. And and you got to see Titletown this time, right, Amelia? You got to experience that firsthand. What about that place, dude? Is that not amazing?
Dude, I mean, the fact that that was all built up, because I never saw it beforehand, right? So I just love that pizza, Clay. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that wood fire. Come on now. That was fire. So Mark Murphy, man, hats off to you. Glad that you can bring in that family aspect to the Packers, which is what it's all about, right? Bring it, year round, sledding hill, all of that stuff. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, and over in our Patreon group, the questions for the show, comments for the show, that section there, if you guys want to be a part of the show and contribute $3, you're a member of the Patreon group, you get access to the questions for the show. Andy Monday, one of my favorite listeners of the show, said our oldest and youngest got to meet the president today as he came out of today's last mini camp. So how about that? Getting a picture of Mark Murphy coming out of his last mini camp with his sons, with Andy's sons, and look at what he's holding, the helmet.
That's crazy.
Like, how cool is that? Andy Monday, dude, that picture right there, dude, that is something to have framed. I mean, that is just that's so freaking cool. So, and then Dave Colvin over here in the questions for the show, comments for the show says, what do you think having a bold predictions section in the chat? Mine would be Tucker Kraft, the Yak Master, to be the Green Bay Packers' first 1,000-yard receiving tight end. I don't think I think that's doable. I do, man. I love that idea of having bold predictions. So we need to get creative in the chat over on Patreon and get some topics like that put together. So,
I like it.
What do you think? You think Tucker Kraft could hit 1,000 yards? I think it's totally doable, man.
I think that's totally possible because he was talking about getting more involved. Jay Love was talking about getting him more involved. Kraft was talking about being able to, go up the seam and to be able to add so many aspects to his game. I think that it's 100% doable. But think about it like that. Tucker Kraft could potentially be a third or a fourth of all of Jay Love's passing yards, right? So that's wild to think. That dude is an important part of this team. We need to keep an eye on him. We need to make sure, he's got a good head and ready to work, which he does. But just we need to keep an eye on him all year, see how he's feeling, see his, any injuries, anything like that, and just kind of keep tabs.
Yeah. Andy Monday in the chat says, thanks for sharing that picture. It was really great to see a familiar face. Hey, no, thank you for sharing it, man. Because again, Andy, I don't know if you realize like that. What I would do if I were you, I would get a big frame and I would get that picture that Matt Schneiden tweeted out of him holding that helmet, walking down the tunnel.
Walking on.
Have that picture of your boys and him holding that same helmet. That's priceless, dude. Absolutely priceless.
One for each of them. Yeah. Two put a twofer together. Yeah. That's a perfect, Christmas gift? Birthday gift, something like that.
Absolutely. All right. Good stuff, man. Again, thanks for sharing that, Andy. Amelia, you got anything else you want to hit on, Bob? Anything at all?
No, I think that's it. Matt had a presser that you can dive into. We still need to figure out the media team, right? We'll get a set of mics in there. Maybe once they're done remodeling there at Green Bay, we can remodel the media room and we'll be golden.
Yeah.
Besides that, man, I'm excited. It's crazy that now we got some of that dead time rolling in. I really still want to dive into those third downs like we were talking. Put them on a video reel. Let's see why we struggled in third down, either conversions or defense. We can kind of maybe look at both and just some of the things that maybe the team's doing or the coaches have done in the past. Let's sort of dive through it, see where we struggled, even if we want to take a peek at fourth downs and just kind of run through them all, see where we're at.
I think what we could probably do is
NFL Pro it.
We could NFL Pro it. It'll throw a copyright, but we might have to do it exclusively to Rumble or something, and then I could try to edit it to where we could upload it to YouTube somehow, some way.
Okay.
But I think that's you because I can literally go to NFL Pro and just check third down, and it'll pull every third down snap up. That would
Yep.
be the easiest way to route
Yep.
it through. So now, if you want to like narrow it down to all the third down incompletions and interceptions,
No,
we can-
I honestly, I kind of want to go through. I'd rather just watch them all. Let's see. All right, we did well on this. We didn't do well on this. What happened on this coverage? You know, where did we blitz here? What was the down and distance? What was the time on the clock? Stuff like that.
Yeah, got it. Ed Madden says, thanks, guys. It's been a great show. Everyone have a great evening. Thank you, Ed Madden. Appreciate you, buddy, for hopping in here and being a part of it. The chat was just awesome tonight. I mean, we had a huge crowd in here. As it's June the 12th,
Yep.
and we got a packed house. This is just, man, absolutely awesome. Brambo said, I made a 36 by 20 canvas print of Jacob's stiff arming honey badger for my son's birthday. Turned out
That's so awesome.
That is the hardest pick in the history of the pack. I'm just telling you, man, the way he's lifting him off the ground. By the way, we've got a Josh Jacobs chalk talk queued up, ready to go, and that made the cut. What I did was I removed all the touchdowns and just tried to find the explosive plays that weren't touchdowns, because we've seen the touchdowns over and over and over, right? So I think that would be cool to kind of dive into that. And you guys are going to love to see that stiff arm too, man. It's just awesome. So, all right, let's get out of here, man. Appreciate you, Emilio. This was fun. Shout out to Mac. See y'all in the chat. Thank y'all for hopping in here this evening. Don't forget, guys, we're raising money for a great cause. If you go to my Twitter account at Packers_access, you'll see a tweet pinned at the top of the page. It'll have a link in there, givebutter.com/KRPSJ5. For every $5 you donate, you're entered in the contest one time to win an autographed Dorsey Levens jersey that's on the screen right here. Again, that's My Autism Connection, building hope, community, and independence for autistic adults. Also, if you want to support the show, the best way to do so is join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. Really easy to use, really cool interface. You get an app. It's just like this huge platform. It's essentially a Packers Total Access website is what it is. And again, we're going to be doing all kinds of playbook stuff in there this year, chalk talks, all that. If you want to go back and kind of walk back through the draft information that we uncovered leading up through the process, all that's still in there. Everything that we posted article-wise will stay up there all time. So really appreciate everybody who's joining in there. And it also enters you into giveaways, which we're going to be giving away an awesome autographed Romeo Doubs card, a rising stock card. Really, really cool piece of memorabilia. Anybody who's a member of the $3 tier on Patreon, which is the cheapest tier we got there, $3 get you access to everything. That'll put you into that giveaway. We're going to be giving away this card on Saturday, most likely. Either Saturday.
I just caught the ball.
We'll be doing that either on Saturday or Sunday. Amelia, I might be down your way on Saturday. We're thinking about taking a trip to Knoxville and going down there and hanging out around Neyland a little bit for the day and grabbing lunch and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to link up maybe.
Yeah, I'll see how it goes here. You know how it is, man. If Saturday morning I hit and I'll be like, I ain't leaving.
And it's storming right now, Clay, so you got to go to mow the first yard tomorrow and bury the mower in the ditch because it's soaking wet.
Oh, yeah. No doubt, man. Anyway. All right. Appreciate everybody. Hit that like on the way out. Feel free to sub to the channel if you're new here. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world and go Packers.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.